lady on the phone. Janet Carpenter was definitely left-handed.
And did you tell her she was dead?
I did, but I don't think she took it in, though.
We came here looking for the answer to one murder, and now we have another.
They must be connected.
Perhaps. Or does the killer just want us to think that? If this suicide had worked, we might well have closed the Venetia Aldrich case on the strong probability that Mrs. Carpenter killed her and then killed herself.
But it still means they're linked.
Don't tell us how. All we know is that the motive wasn't robbery. Look at this. It's not exactly what you'd expect to find. The killer wasn't after it, but it must mean something. I think we can assume that Mrs. Carpenter knew him.
Yeah, I think it's a man, too.
Do we know where Mrs. Carpenter was last seen?
About 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. She was on her way to church.
Mrs. Carpenter had been coming to St. James's for almost 2 years. To communion, sometimes even some. But I wouldn't say there was any real sense in which I knew her. She was a private woman. That had to be respected.
What about the other people in the congregation?
She came to church for God, not for social life.
Father Prestane, have you any information which may help us?
She came to me for confession. It was something she'd never done before. And everything I know about her was told to me under the seal of the confessional. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Carpenter can't care now if you break faith with her. Wouldn't she want you to help? Wouldn't she want her murderer to be caught?
It isn't Janet Carpenter I'd be breaking faith with. Where is she now?
She's at a flat. We'll be moving her to a mortuary very shortly.
If there's no one else to take responsibility, I will take charge of the funeral.
Thank you.
Before she left the church, she said she was thinking of going away, but that she would write me a letter. She didn't say, and I didn't ask. But afterwards, I thought she might have had suicide on her mind. I haven't looked at the post this morning. I shall read it first, and let you have it if that is what you wanted.
It's evidence. He must give it to us.
Patience.
You hungry? I'm starving.
Well, I'll put and break some sandwiches.
There was a pub in the last village we went through. Get something there. I'll have a drink.
No, you stay here and you look after the stuff, all right?
When will you be back?
When I'm back.
Won't be long.
She has authorized me to give this to you.
Thank you.
We're told that vengeance belongs to God. I think when we take it into our own hands, it's not only on those we hate that destruction falls, but on ourselves.
Dear Father, I have something to add to my confession. Something that I could not bring myself to tell you face to face.
Mrs. Carpenter's letter said she was looking for a young man she believed guilty of murder who'd been successfully defended by Venetia Aldrich, just as her own granddaughter's killer, Delma Beale, had been.
So she found Gary Ash?
Yeah, she believed he had killed his aunt, Mrs. O'Keefe. She wanted him to be her instrument of revenge. She sensed that he was powerful enough, attractive enough, greedy enough to do what she wanted. So she offered him £10,000 to start an affair with Octavia, and another £15,000 if he married her.
So because Venetia was determined to stop the relationship, Mrs. Carpenter murdered her?
No, she found the body, but she didn't murder her.
I find that difficult to accept under the circumstances.
In her letters, she says she put the wig on the body and poured on the blood. But in that act of desecration, she'd also poured out all her hatred. Then, of course, she was left with what she had done. She put another innocent girl into the hands of a murderer. So she contacted Ash, told him he had to stop. But by that time, of course, he had other ideas. Her thousands couldn't compete with all the money Octavia Aldrich was about to inherit.
So Ash killed Venetia?
Well, he certainly killed Mrs. Carpenter. I see. And what did he do when you told him the scissors were left-handed?
Well, he went rigid. And then he stabbed them into the table. I thought he was going to attack me.
And they left shortly afterwards?
Yes. Octavia came upstairs very bubbly. She said they were going for a few days' holiday.
What?
I told her about the memorial service Mr. Langton's arranging, but she wasn't interested. She just said that all that mattered now was her and Ash.
Mrs. Buckley, do you know where they've gone?
She did say it was somewhere Ash knew. Somewhere he used to go. She's in danger, isn't she?
Gary, where have you been? You've been gone for hours.
According to this, Ash spent the happiest years of his life at a special school in Norfolk. He was sent there after he sexually assaulted the 14-year-old daughter of his foster parents. A place called Banyard Court.
That's the same name on the drawings.
Huh?
Look, he's drawn the same scene over and over again. And it may mean nothing, but it reminds me of a child, always drawing the same thing, trying to hold on to something special. Most of these are signed Gary Ash, Banyard Court. But some of them are quite recent. Look, here's one on prison notepaper. He must have done it on remand. Wherever this is, he's still obsessed by it.
Ash was very close to one of the social workers there, a man called Gates. If anyone knows where Ash has gone, he will.
And do we know where he is?
Social services have lost touch with him. Ash made some allegations against him. They were false, but he never got another job. I've been on to the Norfolk police. They say he's got a sister who's a nurse, Mrs. Page. They're trying to find her. Well, they may have done so by the time you get up there.
When you be coming up, sir?
No, I can be up there in a couple of hours. I want to stay for the memorial service Langton's organising.
Well, he didn't waste any time, did he?
I don't think the indecent haste has anything to do with Langton. However, there's little doubt the rest of them would like the memory of Venetia Aldrich dispatched as quickly as possible.
But surely Ash is the only suspect now.
We have 2 murders, and you could be right. We may have only one murderer, but I'm not convinced. I still believe the key to Venetia Aldrich's death lies here in Paul at court, and I don't intend taking the pressure off them until I know the truth. One of them here could be the killer.
Yeah, I'll talk to you, Inspector, but I don't see how I can help her. I haven't seen Gary Ash in years, and if he's heading for Norfolk, there's no way he'll come looking for me. Yeah. I'll be here. Yeah, okay. Bye.
Who's on the phone?
Hmm?
On the phone?
Just some geezer trying to sell something.
Oh, yeah?
Look, I'm not going into work today. I've got something else to do. Can you call the supermarket and tell them I'll be in for the night shift?
Venetia will always be remembered as one of the finest advocates of her day. And I, for one, shall remember her as a friend. To Venetia's memory.
Venetia. Well, now that's done, you announce your retirement at next week's meeting and confirm that I take over.
Does nothing last once we have gone?
Oh, we'll start the meeting with an expression of regret about Venetia, but since Simon is taking silk in May, we can end by offering him our congratulations. The future is what matters. Oh, thank you for coming, Commander. I think it went very well.
As well as these things can go, yes.
Well, I take it you'll be letting us have our room back now. We are very short of space.
The investigation hasn't closed yet, Mr. Law.
But since you know who murdered Venetia and Mrs. Carpenter, wouldn't your time be better spent in trying to locate him? You may remember I suggested you look a little closer at Gary Ash the day Venetia's body was found. If you'd listened, he wouldn't be on the loose with Octavia now.
It's the same place.
No, not yet. It's over there.
Commander.
Mr. Froggatt?
I wondered about my book. If it's still useful to you, please keep it, but naturally I should like it back. All the more precious now.
Look, I'd like to hold on to it a bit longer, if I may.
It's on, you know. I had the clearest image of Venetia during the service. Not in the Old Bailey, not as a lawyer, but just as a young girl again. Pretending she was running an errand for her father when all the time I knew she was posting letters for the boys. I never let on. Her father censored everything the boys wrote. She charged them 6pence to smuggle out the letters he hadn't seen.
It's a pity she didn't smuggle one out for Desmond Ulrich's brother.
Desmond
Ulrich? It's the older brother of the boy who hanged himself at Danesford. He's a barrister in Miss Aldrich's chambers.
I never knew. I'd have hoped there was no letter. The parents were in South Africa, I believe. Imagine if such a thing had arrived.
after the boy's death. If someone had been closer, well, he might not have died.
Mr. Freud, could you come and pick the book up tomorrow? From Paul at Court, say 2 o'clock.
Of course.
Right, you carry the stuff over, I'll bring the bike.
How are we going to get back?
Well, we can swim. We can hitchhike, get a train. Don't need a bike anymore. Well, we can buy whatever we want. Remember, everything your mother read is yours now, isn't it?
And your brother gave you no indication at all where he was going?
No, he didn't. We just went off.
But you now think he went to look for Gary Ash?
Yeah. Michael believes if you offer people love, you get love back. Maybe God can redeem Gary Ash. A human being can't.
Do you know any of the places that your brother went to with Ash?
No.
Here. Does this mean anything?
Yeah. Michael had a picture like this on his wall a long time ago. It was a present from Ash. I made him burn it.
Have you any idea where it is?
It's a fishing shack. On the lake near the sea.
Does that go to the sea?
Yeah, eventually. That's where I go when I want to be alone.
We will make love tonight, won't we? How long are we going to stay here?
Dunno, a couple of days. Why, don't you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I just wondered when we go home.
This is home.
This morning smells wonderful. Doesn't smell like this in London.
Don't follow me.
It's not my fault. That's nothing. Please, honey, nothing.
Over here. Quick. Hurry up. My name's Michael Gates. The police are looking for Gary for murder. swim back with me now. You can do it. We can be in the village before he even knows. You'll be cold and wet, but anything's better than staying here.
Oh, you're mad. I'm not leaving here. Leave me alone.
I used to come here with him. I was a friend. You can't stay here. Ash needs help. But you can't give it to him, and neither can I. Not anymore.
Hello, Gates, mate. You all right? What, you didn't hear what the lady said, did you? She's staying here. Anyway, how's your sister? She all right? Do you know I ain't seen her for a long time? Come here, you all right?
I can't do this, Gary. Please don't make me do this.
Come on. Come on! It's all right. No one's going to find him. You all right? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Right. Come on, let's go. Tell you what, I've got loads of food in there. Hey, you cook up something.
We've pinned it down to a couple of miles of coastline, sir.
Right, and there's still no word about the girl? Just a minute. Okay, I'll be up there as soon as I can. Thank you.
Mr. Froggatt, sir.
Mr. Froggatt. Thank you for coming to see me.
It's my pleasure. So, this was her room.
There's a book.
Oh, thank you. I hope you found it useful.
It was indeed. Mr. Froggatt, look, I'm sorry to rush you, but I'm very busy. Thank you for your time, Mr. Froggatt.
You must really like us, Dalglish.
Even my commissioner's beginning to think so. He was so interested in what was happening down here, I thought perhaps someone had telephoned him.
Drysdale Lord, I would imagine. Subtle is not his gift.
Oh, there's someone I'd like you to meet, Mr. Froggatt. He was a great friend of Venetia Aldrich. In fact, he used to teach at her father's school, Danesford.
Mr. Ulrich?
Do you know, I don't think anyone even knew he came here. You all right? Do you want something to eat?
No, I'm not hungry.
Well, how about some eggs? I mean, you got to eat, yeah.
Gary, what are we going to do? Look, it'll be all right. It's like you said, no one will ever know.
Yeah, well, it's not that simple now, is it?
Oh, Commander, I thought I'd get some of your things packed up. Mr. Lord said you'd want them moving.
Really? Well, I'm afraid Mr. Lord's mistaken.
I won't say this is unexpected, Commander.
I'm sure it's not.
Shall we save ourselves the embarrassments of questions and answers that serve no other purpose than to waste time? I imagine that you have a variety of questions about my niece, about what her husband might have lost at Venetia's hands. But that's not why you're here. No. You are not by nature an unfeeling or vicious man.
I hope not.
But your performance with Mr. Froggatt was quite deliberate. You know I am a man of regular habits. You knew when I would return from lunch. And you made a point of introducing me to a man whose associations could only cause me the deepest pain. I had to ask myself why.
When we last spoke in this room, you talked about your brother's death. You said Venetia Aldridge was not responsible, and I naturally assumed you meant the responsibility lay with her father. But that wasn't right, was it? You meant yourself.
That was percipient, Commander.
You were 11 years older than your brother, up at Oxford, only a few miles away. Your parents were overseas. Your brother was desperate, so he wrote to you.
Yes. He wrote. I should have gone to the school, but the letter came at the wrong time. I played cricket for my college. There was a match that day and a party afterwards in London. 3 more days intervened, you know, as they do when you're young, happy, busy. On the 4th day, I received a phone call from my uncle with the news that Marcus had killed himself.
Do you still have the letter?
Not any longer.
You went to see her that night?
Think of it as fiction, Commander. A niece phones her uncle to tell him that her husband's career is in jeopardy. The uncle goes to reason with the woman who intends to throw the niece's husband out of chambers. Let us call the woman Venetia Aldridge. Now, she has just learned that her daughter has had an affair with a man who's committed a brutal murder. A man she has got acquitted. Venetia, she's a very angry woman. And her response to our uncle arguing for his niece's husband is bitter rejection.
But that wouldn't be enough to drive him to kill her. There had to be something else. Something she could throw at this man in her fury. Something he thought no one else could ever know about. The letter? How else could his brother have got it out of the school? Venetia Aldridge posted it for him. All the suppressed emotion came together, long years of guilt, disgust with himself, anger that this woman whose family has so harmed his should be planning even more destruction. The paper knife is on the desk. He seizes it, strikes, and Venetia Aldridge is dead.
It's a very convincing hypothesis, Commander.
Then came the bizarre events perpetrated by Mrs. Carpenter. That was a genuine shock. I saw that shock on your face when you burst into the room that morning.
But you still don't have a case.
Not as yet. But don't underestimate my determination to make one. You left here that night half an hour later than you told us. You didn't go home before you went out to dinner. However long it takes, I'll find a witness who saw you. Someone will place you somewhere at the wrong time. And prove you a liar.
I would be very surprised if you could provide anyone whose testimony couldn't be demolished in 5 minutes by the cross-examination. You have no forensic evidence, and the CPS would never allow such flimsy a case to be brought. And if it was brought, you wouldn't need a Venetia Aldridge to defend it successfully. You are used to success, Commander. And failure is galling, but perhaps salutary. I mean, it is good to be reminded that our system of law is human and therefore fallible. And the most that we can hope to achieve is a certain justice.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
How do you do? Okay, fill me in.
There. Put him down to there.
We're ready. Yeah. I'm in one.
Leave me alone!
Throw down the knife, Mr. Ash!
Go away!
Enough's enough! This won't help you.
I'll kill her! And I can do it in one cut! No one comes any closer!
No one is going to move, Mr. Ash. What is it you want?
I don't want nothing from you!
I know you don't want to hurt me. But what's happened? I love you. Love me.
No.
Yes. I know you do.
I was paid to do it. Mrs. Carpenter paid me to get off with you, paid me to screw, just to destroy your mum. What's the matter when you think I cared? You think I didn't want to spew my guts up when I had to do it with you? I mean, I left it as long as I could.
I believed you. You said... Why don't you use the knife? Finish what you started. as well.
I can't just see. You're my only way out now.
Oh, I'll make it! God, kill me! There's nothing left for us now, can't you see that?
You're right. I will end it here. It's the right place. Home. Don't worry, darling. It won't hurt.
Take him.
Hi. How are you? I have to ask a question. It can't wait, I'm afraid. It's about Ash. We know he killed Mrs. Carpenter. But we have to check his alibi for the night of your mother's death. What we need to know is whether he killed your mother. Now, you said he was with you that night. Did he make you say that, Octavia? Does that mean he was with you all that evening? All that night?
There's no point in any of this, is there? He's dead. Isn't that what you wanted?
I'm not giving up. But without more evidence, Mr. Desmond Ulrich will remain at the Inns of Court. And if he plays the game well, we can even end up with an unconvicted murderer as a High Court judge.
I don't suppose he'd be the first.
She's in the sitting room. Come through. She's finding great strength from somewhere. There's a lot of her mother in her.
And will you stay on?
I hope she wants me to. Octavia.
Good evening.
Mrs. Buckley took me into chambers. We've cleared out all my mother's things.
Well, you look a lot better.
Well, if I wasn't better, I'd be worse. There's no point surviving one kind of death just to sink into another. Shall I sit down?
Thank you.
You know, when Gary told me what he did, I really did want to die.
And now?
Now I want to live. Most of the time. It's odd, you know, I've never been to Chambers before. Never seen my mother's room. Wish I had. It was full of her. In a way this house never was. I thought I could have liked the woman that belonged to that room. Did you find out who killed her?
Yes.
Have they been arrested?
No, he hasn't. And I have to say, I'm not sure he ever will be. There's nothing that can be proved in a court of law. We won't give up, of course. But I'm not going to pretend there's much hope of a conviction.
It's the sort of case my mother would have relished, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'd like to know why.
Why what?
Why she did it all, I suppose.
He'll find no easy answer.
No. But I will find an answer.
I hope you do.
Your job is to convince the jury that the Crown has failed to make its case against the accused beyond reasonable doubt. One day, you're going to be a great advocate too.